He's got character in spades. He's got the chip lead. He's got his eyes set on his first ever World Series bracelet. He's none other than
Gavin Smith.
Gavin.
What up?
He's a character.
He's a wild and crazy guy.
I want you to know you've caught me with my pants down.
He's a very, very tough player to play against.
I got plenty more chips to bluff to you. Oh, I am a little bit crazy. I'm just not as crazy as people think.
He's the chip leader now, and I wouldn't bet against him.
the outrageous pro is hungry for a bracelet. Could this be his day?
I'm not giving up, buddy.
Welcome to the Rio Poker Room and the World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light. This $1,500 pot limit hold'em tournament began with a field of 781 players and is now down to a very interesting final 9. Poker pro Gavin Smith leads the way. The only bracelet winner, John Friedberg, is in 7th place. Eric Lynch is the short stack right now.
I guess you could call Gavin Smith the clown prince of poker. He is a former WPT Player of the Year. And there is internet poker legend Eric Lynch, known as Risen, 24th in last year's main event. And there is Eric's wife, Shauna, and their baby girl, Kira.
I know.
Also at this final table is Marco Traniello. He has been a cash king the last 3 years at the World Series. This is his 12th finish in the money. And his kids are here, the twins, Giancarlo and Francesco, and also, of course, his wife, Jennifer Harmon, cheering on Marco.
I love kids, Lon, but this isn't the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus. It's the World Series of Poker.
And we do have 9 finalists, 8 of them looking for their first World Series of Poker bracelet, including Gavin Smith, of course. We are playing pot limit hold'em. The blinds are at 6 and 12,000 on Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam. 7 for Eric Lynch, and he says pot.
That means he's betting the size of the pot.
You see it says raise 42K. That means Lynch has raised it to 42,000. Now Tom Savitsky, a patent attorney from New Jersey.
And he says he's following in the footsteps of patent attorney Greg Raymer.
Tough act to follow.
84.
And now Savitsky announces raise with ace-king. Next in line, Michael Spegal, playing on his 9th wedding anniversary.
And there is Dr. Bruce Van Horn. He was runner-up in the 1996 main event.
Marco Traniello seems to be everywhere at the World Series, but he's not going to play this hand. And there is John Friedberg, the only bracelet winner here. He will fold. And Eric Lynch immediately moves all in.
I call.
Savitsky calls.
Hope you're on ace-king.
Wow.
Well, that's why Eric Lynch is so tough to beat online.
Let's hold one time, please.
Lynch did come in short stacked, had to make a move, and so he's making it with his pocket pair against the ace-king of Savitsky.
You can put a 7 out on the flop and save us some drama.
It's the bad moon rising.
Well, that would be Bad Moon Risen.
Yeah. Eric's online name. And the flop is 3-10-9. Lynch keeps the lead.
Let's keep him low.
Baby wants to keep him low. Baby needs new shoes.
Black deuce.
Well, you don't want to see the Jack of Diamonds?
Not really.
Turn card now with Lynch all in. Turn card's a queen. Savitsky now with a straight draw.
Ace king.
Where's that black deuce?
Ace king jack.
Well, Savitsky needs an ace, a king, or a jack for a straight to knock out Eric Lynch.
Black deuce.
River card is a 3 of diamonds. That works too. Eric Lynch's pocket 7th hold up. And he earned some precious chips at a critical moment to double up.
Bad moon rising.
Bad Moon
I
Risen.
was going to ask you what you'd give me if I last longer when I started, but
Nothing, man. You're famous. I would have asked for a price from you. You can lay me 3-1 right now.
Gavin loves prop bets.
Eric,
what's up?
do we have action? You can lay me 3-1 right now.
You'll give me 3-1?
You lay me 3-1.
You know, Norman, there is never enough action for Gavin Smith, even surrounded by wall-to-wall poker players in the gambling capital of the universe here at the World Series of Poker. Hello, everyone. I'm Lon McCarran, along with Norman Chad. Gavin Smith has earned major tournament victories and the unquestioned respect of his poker-playing peers. Yet the affable Smith knows all too well he is yet to capture that one key piece of jewelry that separates a player from the pack.
Well, the good news for Gavin Smith is he doesn't need a bracelet to command respect and attention at the table. But the bad news for Gavin is, well, he doesn't have that bracelet yet. And trust me, beyond his banter and laughter, he needs it, he craves it, he yearns for it. Hey, he can't live without it.
Gavin Smith did score $1 million payday in a WPT event in 2005, but he wants this bracelet, as you said, Norman. John Friedberg won a bracelet in a Hold'em event last year.
Remember, this is pot limit, unlike no limit, where you can push all your chips in at any time. In pot limit, you can only bet up to the size of the pot.
Gavin Smith, the poker pro from Canada, is our chip leader. He has pocket jacks. And Gavin is going to raise it up to $44,000. Savitsky will get out of the way. To Michael Spegal, former Marine. He'll fold.
This is actually a pretty good-looking group of guys that's chasing Gavin. Hello, Marco.
Marco not in the hand anymore. Friedberg came in a little bit short on chips. And he'll not play this hand. There's Jeff Langdon in the big blind. Pocket nines.
I'm going to raise.
And the nationally ranked squash player says raise.
I'm going to make it 68 straight.
Actually, Langdon is raising it to $84,000. It'll cost 40 more for Smith to call. And Gavin will toss it in, and these two will go heads up.
Gavin with a 4-1 advantage to the flop.
The flop is 4-7-6, all diamonds. Neither player holds a diamond.
I go 125.
But Langdon is going to fire with 125. And Gavin gives up the jacks.
And he shows them. Gavin with some advertising there. He's letting people know, hey, I'm only playing quality cards today. That sets him up to maybe push people around later today with nothing.
2 tens?
I'm not too tense. I'm very relaxed.
Langdon feeling good about his play, but Gavin Smith can't be happy about laying down jacks to a squash player. Welcome back inside the Rio. Our final table is not the only one taking place inside the Rio Poker Room. Just outside is a table full of heavyweights playing the mixed Omaha stud 8 or better final table. Chris Jesus Ferguson and Annie Duke looking to add to their collection of bracelets. And John Fan, just like Gavin Smith, is still searching for his first, and he'll have to wait for another day.
Fan's best game is no limit hold'em, but he does pretty well when he slums with us high-low players.
Back to our final table. And there is the coveted piece of jewelry that everybody is playing for. Gavin Smith would certainly like to get his hands on that. I'm sure, Norman, he's got to bet with someone that he's going to win this tonight.
I told them all. They said, you have any prop bets with Gavin? I said, as a matter of fact, I do.
What's the prop that we have?
We bet 500, about under 29 on the World Series champion main event.
Right.
You forget about that?
Yeah, I forget about all sorts of things.
I'll go on record. Gavin and I have a $500 bet. I bet the under on 29 years of age for the World Series champion this year.
I bet over, mostly for selfish reasons.
Gavin is 38.
It makes no difference what the odds are. Gavin Smith seems willing to gamble on just about anything.
I like to make bets. I make a lot of foolish bets, a lot of crazy bets.
I need some last longers.
Want to flip a coin for it? We get heads up. Our Harleys are on the line. You give me 3 aside and you got action. Sometimes people will come up and pay me and I'm like, what the heck was that for? Or sometimes they come and tell me I owe them money and I forget some bets occasionally. I'll play you a Chinese poker anytime. Let's do some shots. Silly things happen when we're drinking. I lost the last longer with Joe Seabach this year. The loser had to get the winner's initials tattooed on. So I have Joe Seabach's initials tattooed on my back. The best thing is my mother's name is Joan Smith. Same with the one with Seabach and I. Last year when he had to dress up like the superhero. That started when we were drinking. Next thing you know, we're betting on who has to wear costumes around 2,000 people. And my friend Todd Cake won in Aruba. I'm like, Todd, if you make it to the next day, I'll get my hair beaded. And then he made it to the day, so I went and got my hair beaded. That was one of my dumber ones. I forgot about that. Probably bet anything. It's not that bad. The worst thing that can happen when you make a bet is you lose.
Gavin will risk almost anything, but he says he has never bet his girlfriend.
And his girlfriend is here looking on, Cindy K. Coons. It is nice to know and somewhat comforting that Gavin Smith does have his limits.
This is your first World Series final table? No? How many have you had?
I've not done very well in my previous occurrences, though. 2 years ago, they were making the final tables 10 players.
Right.
And I made 2, and I had 2 tenths. Then last year, I didn't make any final tables.
Really?
Last year, my best finish.
Well, you finished 11th in horse, right?
11th. I'm the 11th best horse player in the world, as a matter of fact, currently. Now, that may change in 2 weeks' time, but right now, I'm standing as the 11th best horse player in the entire world.
The official World Series records actually list only the final 9 players to have made a final table. So officially, this is Gavin's first final table. Sorry, Gavin. All right, action back underway at this Pot limit hold'em final table. Ace king of clubs for Marco Traniello. Marco will raise it up to 50,000. The blind's at 8 and 16,000. Now the big blind, Gavin Smith. Couple of jacks again.
A couple of Gavin's current prop bets, $20,000 against Jeff Madsen on whoever wins the next bracelet. And he's also bet Madsen and Joe Seebach, whoever has the best World Series of Poker, gets carried in on a throne during the main event while the other two are dressed as court jesters.
I don't care who wins that bet. I just want to see it happen. All right, so Smith with his jacks is going to raise it up to 158,000.
What did you take that back for?
You know, when I wear that T-shirt line to the gym, women and children run for cover.
Marco is going to re-raise all in. Risking everything on the ace-king.
So brutal.
111,000 to call.
What a call deck.
Gavin thinks he might be up against a bigger pocket pair.
Now, Norman, is that Giancarlo or Francesco? Or is that Francesco and the other one's Giancarlo?
Well, they both have poker faces. It's hard to tell.
How much? It's so gross.
Oh, Gavin makes the call and puts Marco at risk.
And Marco is going to need help to stay alive.
All right, pretty much a coin flip for Marco Traniello's tournament life.
He's going to win it. King.
Jennifer wants her hubby to flop a flush.
Ace King hasn't done good yet. Let's see what happens.
Oh, thank you, John, for saving me the effort. Here's the flop. It is 8, queen, deuce. Ace king coming up empty for Marco.
And here you see two professionals just calmly awaiting their fate on their immediate poker future.
9 of clubs. The club comes too late.
Yeah, Jennifer grimaces. Marco's not too happy. Gavin's still in command of the hand. Traniello will need an ace or a king, or he's back on diaper duty.
The river is a 7 of hearts, and that's going to do it. Gavin Smith wins a nice pot and knocks out Marco Traniello. Marco finishes in 9th place and will win almost $15,000. Gavin Smith extends his chip lead at this final table. Oh, well. And Marco heads for the rail for a little love from the family.
She's not consoling him. She's giving him a shopping list.
Even the twins couldn't bring good luck today to Marco.
The kid doesn't mind. Chuck E. Cheese is next.
Nah, he's kind of stuck, right? Wasn't much you could do. You had to call that.
I don't know how you faded that.
I don't either.
Yeah, I mean,
Especially after you tried to mush mouth me.
that's right.
I don't think I didn't catch that.
Thing? I wasn't trying to.
Well, Ace King hasn't done very well so far today. Trying to
It's
mush
like,
mouth me.
I'm sure he wasn't appreciating the commentary.
I thought that was advantageous to you.
Freeberg was trying to mush mouth me. I know it.
John Friedberg better learn right now, never mush mouth a mush mouther.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Lights.
Welcome back to the Rio. Gavin Smith is still our chip leader at this final table. Eric Lynch has improved a great deal since he survived that all-in early on.
Risen.
No, it's all right.
It doesn't go as well with the song, though.
No, it goes very poorly with the song, but
It's a bad man.
Ryzen, you're the online Ryzen? Okay, that's why he keeps on singing that. Now I finally get it.
That's a song, right?
Yeah,
It's like a Doors song, right?
Credence. Bad Moon Rising. Credence Clearwater Revival.
No, it's not. It's Doors. Really? Oh.
It's the Mojo Rising. That's a. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's right. So I'm putting the wrong.
Gavin's worked on a golf course, driven a cab, been a poker dealer. He never was a DJ.
It is kind of nice to have somebody at our final table who understands classic rock, though. Tom Savitsky with Queen 10 is going to move all in with his last 40,000.
Savitsky, one of the older people here.
Pocket 8s for the oldest player here.
See trouble on the way.
See, I got it in your head now, don't I?
Looks like we're in for nasty weather. Don't know the rest of the words.
Van Horn with the 8s is going to re-raise. 68-year-old Oklahoma pathologist tries to push the action to Gavin Smith now. And he gives it up. Small blind Eric Lynch checks his cards. No thanks. Billy Hill in the big blind folds.
Well, since that's the first pot you played, I'm not feeling too good.
Savitsky was all in for only $40,000, and since everyone else folded, Van Horn gets a $24,000 chip rebate on his raise.
Yeah, better than usual.
Well, by current World Series standards, this is going to be our geezer special. 54-year-old against a 68-year-old.
Savitsky in for it all. And now the flop is 9-5 ace, no help to Savitsky.
Van Horn still in good shape. Savitsky thankfully has stopped singing.
And now the turn card. The 6 of clubs is a blank for Savitsky.
No help.
No help indeed for Tom Savitsky. Savitsky's going to need a queen or 10 on the river, or he is wamboozled.
And the river card is the 10! Savitsky spikes the 10 on the river to double up.
And Bruce Van Horn, I'm sure, has seen a lot of tough and bad beats in his long poker career.
I wasn't nervous.
Tough one, Bruce.
Yeah, well.
At least you only have 40. BBB, triple B. Big Bad Bruce.
Bruce Van Horn may not be a household name in the poker world, but just a decade ago, he had his moment in the sun. Unfortunately for him, it was a total eclipse.
Been kind of pursuing the Holy Grail. I finished second in the World Championship in '96. It was the only year that it wasn't filmed by ESPN, so half the town doesn't even believe I did it.
Who came in second to Huckseed? 1996.
It was a pretty tough final table. Men, the master, Huckseed, and John Benetti.
I'm trying to think if I'd seen it on TV.
Can I think of his name?
I don't know.
Dr. somebody.
Dr.
Dr. Doolittle.
It's just an unknown tournament. I mean, nobody knew about it because there was no television. So that kind of upset me a little bit.
Bruce Van Horn?
Who's that? Bruce Van Horn comes second.
They never remember who comes second.
Anytime the TV's on, there's poker on, I think about it. So I thought, well, maybe one of these days I can get on television so they'll know I'm telling the truth. So it's kind of a goal of mine to get here.
In '96, Bruce lost all his money on a trip out here, so his wife lent him $200 to play in a satellite. He won it, and he wanted the money from that, but they told him you have to play in the main event or forfeit it, so he played and finished second, but nobody knows it.
Now Bruce trying to earn that bracelet this year at the final table. 8 players left.
Michael Spegal playing poker on his wedding anniversary. What a heavenly marriage. And there is his wife, Jeannie. They have dinner reservations and Howie Mandel show tickets tonight. I don't think they're going to make it. Howie Mandel, really?
Howie Mandel's playing Vegas. I didn't know that.
Not today, boys.
John Friedberg will fold over to Jeff Langdon, the 51-year-old entrepreneur with pocket aces. He was a pro tennis player before he became a squash player.
50.
And he raises it up to $50,000. Gavin Smith with pocket 4s.
I don't know if Howie Mandel would have been my first choice.
For an anniversary. Here we go to the flop. Langdon with the aces has the lead. The flop is 4-5 queen. Smith comes up big with a set.
And frankly, Langdon also probably likes this flop because he's picked up the nut flush draw to go along with his aces.
He's going to make it $80,000 to Gavin Smith. Gavin Smith going two-handed, raises to $300,000 and all in for Langdon and a call. This is our degree all-in moment. Jeff Langdon at risk even with the pocket aces.
Langdon can't like it, Lon, but he's taking it well. Well, Gavin's not the one all in, so his girlfriend feels no need to stand up.
The chip leader, Gavin Smith, with a chance to knock out Langdon.
Good luck, big boy.
These two have tangled before.
Had to play out that way, right?
Much.
And now the turn card. Oh, and all the drama ends right now. Quad 4s for Smith. Gavin Smith earns the degree check mark.
What can I say?
He doesn't have to say anything, but he does have to leave.
So Gavin Smith, the chip leader, gets stronger. Jeff Langdon eliminated in 8th place.
That was very sick.
Call a doctor.
Sick.
He'll take home over $20,000. Gavin Smith over 900,000 chips, now still in control of this final table and pointed towards his bracelet.
The Degree All-In Moment is brought to you by Degree Men. More power than you need. One day you'll need it.
Welcome back to the Rio Poker Room. Plenty of action taking place, including the mixed Omaha stud 8 or better final table, where Annie Duke is still raking in the chips in one of her favorite games. Unfortunately, her good friend Chris Jesus Ferguson is the short stack here.
Annie and Jesus cash so often at the World Series because they can play all the games well.
Ferguson is at the top of the list of bracelets won this decade alongside Johnny Chan and Phil Ivey. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of good players nipping at their heels on that list. Also, a lot of great players still searching for their first bracelet, Gavin Smith being one of them. We decided to ask the pros who's the best to have never won in this edition of The Nuts.
Best player not to have a bracelet.
Gus Hansen.
I have to say Phil Gordon.
There's lots of really good players that don't have bracelets. I mean, literally hundreds.
Patrick Antonius.
Jeff Lissandro.
If you deserve one, you should have one.
Well, I'd like to be on the top of that list.
J.C. Tran and the grinder, Michael Mizrachi.
Has Bill Helmuth won a bracelet?
I need the bracelet. Oh, my husband, Marco. We can't leave out him.
Oh, Andy Block.
Gavin Smith.
Gavin Smith's been doing very well.
Gavin Smith.
Why?
Because I'm the best player and I don't have a bracelet.
I guess Eric Lindgren.
No, Eric Lindgren.
Eric Lindgren.
Yeah, that pretty much sucks that I don't have a bracelet.
Eric has a bet with Phil Gordon on who's going to win the first bracelet. At the rate they're going, they're both going to be really, really old.
In the future, we'll all have bracelets, and we'll be movie stars. If I'm sitting here 40 years from now and I haven't won a bracelet, then I'll have a problem with that. Gavin Smith.
How about Bill Gaze's? He's got 6 final tables, no bracelets.
Gavin Smith, our chip leader, trying to win his first bracelet at his first World Series final table. Gavin, the dominating chip leader right now, and John Friedberg wearing the bracelet he won last year. Smith with ace-7 offsuit. He's going to raise it up to 60,000. The blinds at 10 and 20. And the dreaded ace-king for Eric Lynch. Lynch says re-raise.
16. And I think I can put the rest in.
And he's all in.
Eric doesn't talk much at the table, other than to occasionally ask the dealer for a card.
Action behind Lynch. Folds around to Dr. Van Horn, and he gives it up. So the re-raise back to Smith. Needs 145 to call.
Well, Gavin would like to avoid the courtesy double-up. He's getting 2-1 on his money here, but if he calls, he'll be a 3-1 dog.
And he is going to call.
Well, Gavin also would love to see Eric Lynch out of here. Bad moon rising, risen, whatever. He's always a threat.
Lynch with the ace-king all in has the advantage. Smith dominated, but has Lynch covered.
I don't think she's getting up unless she has to.
Let's put a king up there, please.
Now, Eric's wife has an excuse not to get up. Boy, I wish someone would rub my head.
There's the flop.
Put a king up there.
Lynch all in. No king. It is 2 pair for Gavin Smith. Ace is up.
Gavin is flop 2 pair.
Gavin in command. Lynch had politely asked for a king, and he was rudely rejected. The baby don't know from a king. Boy, she looks comfortable.
And the turn card.
Turn card now. Is another 7, a full house for Smith, and Lynch is all but done.
Geez, Gavin was behind Langdon and now Lynch, and he obliterated each one by the turn.
Tough when I start running good.
Lynch needs the last ace in the deck to stay alive. They both would have the same full house and split the pot.
Now the river card. It's a deuce, and Eric Lynch is gone. Done in by Gavin Smith. 7th place for Eric Risen Lynch. He'll win almost $28,000.
You think she's getting up? Oh, no.
Gavin Smith continues to run over this final table. Over 1 million chips now in search of his first World Series bracelet. All right, let's move away from the pot limit hold'em tournament to the other final table, where we find Chris Jesus Ferguson, who has moved all in for his tournament life against chip leader Tom Schneider. And Jesus comes up short. He will go out in 4th place, earning over $50,000 and get a hug from Annie Duke. Tom Schneider is the author of Oops, I Won Too Much Money, and he is doing just that, but he still will need to contend with Annie Duke in order to win his first bracelet.
Annie is very tough in Omaha 8. She won her only World Series bracelet in this game and made 2 other Omaha 8 final tables here at the World Series. And there you see Jesus just moves on to the next tournament. He gets knocked out of one. He'll now sit down in a new Omaha 8 tournament. You don't see Dale Earnhardt Jr. doing that on the NASCAR circuit, do you?
Only at the World Series. Jesus looking for bracelet number 6. On display in the Rio Poker Room, the remainder of the 55 bracelets to be awarded at this World Series. Back at our pot limit hold'em final table, Bruce Van Horn all in with a suited King 4. John Freeberg with a suited Ace Jack trying to send the good doctor to the rail. The flop was no help to Van Horn. He's running out of chances.
Van Horn was at the final table when Amarillo Slim won his last bracelet in 1990. He's close to exiting here.
The 7 on the turn moves the doctor closer to the exit door.
You have bad news for Van Horn. Friedberg has picked up a flush draw, so Van Horn is going to need a non-club king or 4 to stay alive.
And now the river card. It is a 10 of diamonds, and Bruce Van Horn started the hand way behind, never improved. He is eliminated in 6th place. Dr. Van Horn will take home almost $37,000.
You've got to be happy he made it onto TV. I just hope they have cable in Ada, Oklahoma.
Freeberg, hoping to validate the bracelet he won last year, moves a step closer to doing that.
If I was an agent, I would want to represent John Friedberg. You'd have appearances coming out your butt.
Another hallmark moment from chip leader Gavin Smith.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light.
Back inside the Rio, our patent attorney Tom Savitsky has been knocked out. He was surprised to even make the final table, but 5th place is good for almost $48,000, done in by the Trip 9s of Billy Hill.
Maryland grad, baby.
Me too. You know what? At the beginning of the day today, I would have predicted it was going to be the 4 of us.
Are you a math guy?
He's got to be a math guy. He's so quiet.
I guess, I don't know. What's it?
Do you know like a lot of the math in poker and stuff?
What's a favorite, a 9-5 off or an 8-deuce suited?
9-5 off.
Man, you asked me a tough question there.
You don't know?
It's got to be an 8-deuce suited.
9-5 off.
I'll bet on it. I'll bet the other way.
You take the 9?
Yeah, I'll take the 9. And you have 1 heart.
All right, while that transaction gets warmed up, let's go over to Michael Spegal with Ace Jack. He's a business owner from St. Mary's, Georgia. He's going to raise it up to $105,000.
It's 9-5 off, but you have 1 heart, and I have the 8 deuce of hearts.
Oh,
and the 9-5
that
wins.
changes everything.
Whoa.
I don't like that anymore. See, now you're asking for a vig. Why do you want vigs on your bets?
Because you had the freaking 1 of the heart. You showed a heart.
They both fold.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll make you the bet. I'll take 8. You can have 8 deuce of hearts. I'll take 9-5 off with no heart.
All right.
How much, 500 again?
500.
You got it.
I'm with Gavin.
All right, over to Billy Hill. Ace 4 of hearts.
Does somebody have a tool that they can run a hand on a thing?
They don't have to run it. 9-5 off is the better hand.
Billy Hill's raising up. That's pot.
We need a hand calculator on the main game
Are
here.
there any math?
I am a hand calculator. You don't need to run it.
Action to Spegal.
I'll go ask them to run it.
I'll handle Hill and Spiegel. You take Gavin and Freeberg.
I like the sideline reporting.
Anyone? BJ? We need you to run 9-5 off with no hearts versus 8 deuce of hearts.
All right, Spiegel with a big raise to him from Hill.
He's like one of those mathematical geniuses. He knows exactly.
I have no idea.
It's probably like 50.865.
I'm just guessing. Shush up. We've already.
What's got the 60?
You got it up?
What wins?
The 9-5. Ship it, baby. That was a clear favorite.
I run so bad.
Woo!
I run bad in life.
Do I get a piece of that?
60% was
I lose
the
500.
9-5. I picked up a nice 500 ball there.
And if it were me, I'd sell those Howie Mandel tickets and go see the Chippendales.
Pay the piper.
Spiegel's going to re-raise all in. And that's enough to put Hill all in.
You're in good shape.
And he makes the call. He'll be all in and behind.
Oh, they're playing poker over here?
Hill took 6 years to graduate from Maryland. I did it in 5.5 lon, but he majored in electrical engineering. That's legit.
So Billy Hill all in with the ace 4 against the ace jack.
John, you want to bet on which hand's the favorite?
I can't get enough.
Spiegel, the amateur, trying to make a name for himself here at the World Series of Poker. A chance to knock out Billy Hill.
See, she doesn't want to see Howie Mandel tonight.
All right, here we go. The flop is 4-10 jack. Each pairs their kicker, keeping Spegal in the lead.
Yeah, your excitement was fleeting.
Hill picked up one more heart.
Come on.
Billy, though, way behind, needs a lot of help.
Turn card. Queen of clubs gives each player a straight draw.
For Billy Hill now, he'll need a 4 to win the pot. With a king, they would split it each with a straight. Otherwise, Billy Hill is gone.
It is a 9 of hearts. Billy Hill is gone. He will win over $67,000 for 4th place. Michael Spegal takes the pot, and he now is approaching Gavin Smith territory. 900,000 chips right now for Spegal.
The thing is, Howie Mandel's just a rough and tumble show. You don't want to see that on an anniversary night.
Shoot. That is too much drama for me.
Well, Michael can do without the drama that comes with playing poker. Don't be fooled. This guy craves excitement.
I'm a former Marine, also a thrill seeker. I was just one of those aggressive, go for it, doesn't matter what happens kind of guy. And I had the privilege of jumping out of planes. The adrenaline rush from jumping out of planes to have that feeling to going all in on a poker pro is just the rush. It's just amazing. When I was jumping out of the planes, I really didn't have any fear whatsoever. But some of these players that you go against are intimidating. It really is. It's a whole different ballgame. To come here to the World Series of Poker, to play against the best, I feel is more of an adrenaline rush than it was in the Marine Corps for me. I'm at the final table. Hopefully my heart can take it.
Spegal met his wife, Jeannie, when he was a Marine. They now own a UPS store and an equipment rental company.
How old are you?
Old. 38. I'll be 39 in September.
Are you really? I'll be 40 next year.
Get out of here. Damn, you age well.
What, you put baby oil on your face?
I thought you were like 26.
No. This guy, seriously, he lubes his face every night to stay young looking.
Well, if you don't smoke, drink, and party late every night for 40 years, you can look great. Gavin went a different direction.
He folds on the Milwaukee's Best Light Pocket Cam. It is 10-6 for the young-looking Michael Spegal.
By the way, this guy has 2 grandchildren, if you could believe that.
Grandpa limps in. Friedberg now in the big blind, queen deuce. Checks his option. So these two heads up. The flop is deuce 7-10. Spegal gets top pair, Friedberg bottom pair.
With bracelets, 1 can be an accident, but 2 is a trend. Friedberg wants a trend.
Spiegel bet 60,000. Friedberg also picked up a diamond draw.
Raise.
And he's going to raise it up.
Hot.
Spiegel's got the better hand, but as you can see from the percentages, Friedberg has the better draw.
Friedberg raised it up. It'll be 180 to Spiegel with top pair.
A re-raise, what you got in?
And a re-raise to put Friedberg all in. Friedberg does just that. And here we go. Friedberg has the better draw, as you mentioned. Norman Spiegel with a better hand right now.
Boy, she doesn't look happy. Her husband's ahead at the moment.
Otherwise, you will go home in 3rd place today.
Friedberg trying to get the crowd behind him.
You got to get them to rally. They have a real big influence. You have no idea.
Yeah, he did this when he was at the final table last year. I don't think it works.
Turn card is a 9 of spades. That misses Friedberg. Spiegel added a straight draw to his arsenal.
Or queen or deuce.
Deuce. Queen. Diamond.
Well, those are the cards he needs to stay alive. Boy, I think she's anticipating Howie Mandel.
Here we go to the river. It is a jack of hearts, and Spiegel wins the hand. John Friedberg eliminated in 3rd place.
Good game, dude. Rooting for you, buddy.
He started this final table 7th in chips. He goes out 3rd, wins over 101,000. We're down to the final 2, the amateur versus the pro. When we return, it's a heads-up battle for a World Series bracelet. Who will seize their first and walk away a champion? The 7-card stud championship final table saw Phil Ivey going after his 6th bracelet, a feat only accomplished by 9 others. Ivey, who got his start in Atlantic City, found himself heads up against another Atlantic City guy, AC Circuit champion Chris Reslock.
It's an all Atlantic City final table now. He's old Atlantic City.
In the end, even one of the best in the world could not overcome Reslock's huge chip advantage. Phil Ivey would have to wait to join the +5 club, while Reslock walked away with his first bracelet. Here's a first look at our 2007 Player of the Year leaderboard. You get 100 points for a win. At the top is Steve Bilirakis, the youngest ever bracelet winner. He also cashed in a subsequent event. Annie Duke will earn Player of the Year points. She goes out here in third place at this final table, winning over $75,000.
Annie has cashed more times in the World Series than any woman in history.
So the heads-up match at this final table will now be between Ed Tonlia from London, Ontario. He'll be taking on chip leader Tom Schneider. Both of these players looking for their first bracelet. But we still have a bracelet to award to the champion of our pot limit Hold'em final table. Another great Canadian player, Gavin Smith, had led almost the entire way, but now in second place with 778,000 chips. But he trails the amateur ex-Marine Michael Spegal, who owns almost 1.6 million.
So how many bracelets do you have already?
How many bracelets? 0.
Really?
How many do you have?
It's my first final table.
Then we're even. I know I'm probably not going to scare you, though, since you're a Marine, eh? You probably don't scare that easy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Probably had lots of things scare you in your life than this.
You see my heart beating through my shirt right now?
We have seen so many pro-amateur heads-up showdowns the last few years at the World Series, and I believe the amateurs are ahead.
And right now, the amateur is ahead on the chip count as we begin this heads-up match, both with 8-4. To the flop, it is 6-8 ace. 2 hearts, so Gavin has the only pocket heart. 30,000 from the amateur Spegal.
Well, this is almost certainly going to be a split pot if they both stay in, unless Gavin hits runner hearts.
Gavin makes the call. To the turn we go. 3 of diamonds. Flush possibilities are gone. Can only win by pushing the opponent off the hand now. 60,000 from Spegal.
Gavin not going anywhere.
He makes the call. And now the river card. An 8 of spades, so trip 8s for each.
Hot. Gavin can smell a big pot here. Spegal can smell a bracelet. They've both got to believe they have the best hand.
240,000 for Spegal to call. Gavin putting the heat to the amateur.
I re-raised the pot.
And now Spegal turns the tables.
And this would be for the rest of Gavin Smith's chips.
It's me covered.
Actually, it's possible she's not even aware Gavin's playing poker right now. Gavin almost certainly believes he has the best hand, but this is for his tournament. And if he happens to be wrong, that elusive bracelet would elude him again right now. This is not an easy decision.
Michael Spegal with a great bet, putting the pro Gavin Smith to the test. Gavin's going to call.
Let's put them all in. Let's see, guys. Who's got what?
This is going to be fun.
Michael shows an 8 and a 4 for Spegal.
Take your money back.
Spegal was already sizing that bracelet up. Who could blame him?
Gonna split this pot.
Damn it, I thought I had you.
So a sigh of relief from Jeannie. And, well, John Freeberg here, he hadn't paid off yet.
Thanks, brother.
He has paid his prop bet fairly quickly and honorably.
And now Gavin Smith and Michael Spegal can get back to the matter at hand, winning a World Series bracelet. Spegal, the amateur, with the advantage right now.
Michael, you want to play the rest of the heads up? No raising pre-flop? Serious?
I think that would give you an advantage.
How? It's the same for both of us.
Spegal is a modest guy, and he's right. He knows Gavin would probably outplay him after the flop most of the time. But Howie Mandel? Come on. Danny Gans, Rita Rudner, Louis Anderson, even Carrot Top I'd see first.
9-7 of clubs for Spegal from the small blind. He limps in. Gavin Smith with King 7 of spades will check his option. The flop 4-10-4. Smith's king stands tall and keeps him in the lead. Both players check to the turn.
Zumanity's a good show.
8 of hearts. Spegal picks up an open-ended straight draw now.
Tony and Tina's wedding.
60,000 with Gavin. His king still leads the way.
Gavin's posturing, but Speagle's pick up a straight draw. He's not going anywhere for $60,000.
Spiegel got a free turn card, had to pay $60 to see the river. And now the river card is a 6, and Spiegel hits his straight. Gavin with a king high checks.
100.
Spiegel's going to make it 100,000.
Gavin Smith can only beat a bluff. But Daniel Negreanu sometimes will call here just out of curiosity. Gavin's got squat douche.
And he is the shorter of the two stacks. Jeannie can hardly look. She's sweating bullets.
Gavin is understandably befuddled by what Spiegel might have, but Gavin's got nothing.
Gavin puts it out there. And might as well send it right over to Michael Spiegel, who wins the hand with a straight.
Pays him off. It wasn't much, but 100,000 extra into Michael Spiegel's stack.
And Gavin Smith sees that bracelet slipping away.
Heck, you don't even have to leave the building for Penn and Teller. Howie Mandel.
Michael, take the glasses off for a second. Just up over the head. I'm not giving up.
That's good.
Okay, just
I didn't
so
think
you know.
that you would.
You might think you're the only Marine here, but I'm not giving up, all right?
Gotcha.
Gavin Smith may need the whole cavalry to save him at this point. Welcome back to the Rio, and it seems like the mixed Omaha Stud 8 or better tournament is about to be finished.
Let me know if you got the full house, Larry.
Ed Tonlia standing up. He will finish in second place as Tom Schneider hits the full house on the final hand to take the victory. Schneider will win over $214,000, the gold bracelet, and get a congratulatory hug from his wife, Julie. So another brand new bracelet winner at the 2007 World Series, and we'll have yet another one here at this Pot Limit Hold'em final table. Michael Spiegel with the advantage.
Why the hell you gotta play poker so tough if you're not even a professional poker player? Huh? Why don't you start playing like a business owner instead of like a poker player, all right? Stop it.
Well, Gavin's still in good spirits as he sees his bracelet potentially slip away.
And here to watch the end of the action, Phil Hellmuth with 10 bracelets of his own.
I didn't recognize Phil in civilian clothes, not complaining about a bad beat.
All right, here we go. Continuing heads up, the blinds at 20 and 40,000 now. Pocket fives for Gavin Smith. And Smith is going to raise it up. He'll make it 120,000.
A little sloppily.
Spiegel, ace 10, suited.
Raise the pot.
Calls pot. He re-raises.
Well, this might be put up or shut up time for Gavin.
It is put up. All in for Gavin Smith.
15,000. How much?
115,000 total. You're in the pot for 200.
I call.
And Spiegel with the call. Gavin Smith at risk. Spiegel on the verge of winning a bracelet.
Oh, baby.
And as often is the case, Gavin sees it'll be a race, a coin flip for his tournament life.
Some of the swagger is gone from Gavin Smith in these last few hands without that chip lead.
Hey, don't mess with this Marine.
Come on, Mike. It's about you.
Boy, I hadn't noticed the size of that rock before. Spiegel might need first place money.
All right, here we go to the flop. It's a coin flip. Pocket pair for Smith, 2 over cards for Spiegel. The flop is Jack, 3, 6, a couple of spades. Oh boy, Gavin's still in the lead, but hates to see that flush draw.
Gavin not happy. His pair of fives, as you said, are still ahead. But Spiegel now a favorite to win the hand.
Gavin can't believe it. Thought he had control of this table.
5 of spades.
5 of spades, that's what you want? You're a sick man.
We did not hear much from Michael Spiegel early at this final table, but the ex-Marine stormed the table, took control. He now is on the verge of winning a World Series bracelet.
Gavin Smith trying to fade an avalanche of outs to keep his bracelet hopes alive.
And the turn card is a queen of spades and the winning flush for Spiegel right then and there. Gavin Smith drawing dead.
Wow. And Gavin Smith deeply disappointed, a good sport in defeat.
What a win for Spiegel. Smith takes home almost $156,000.
The good news for Spiegel is he gets a bracelet. The better news is they're going to miss the Howie Mandel show.
Spiegel wound up on center stage himself, taking out Gavin Smith, whose bracelet quest came to a dead end.
Feel like crap. I came here to win. I didn't win. I would rather come 9th than come 2nd.
Everyone thought Smith's first ever World Series bracelet was a sure bet.
You lay me 3-1.
Woo! That is until he ran into the daring Marine from Georgia.
I know I'm probably not going to scare you though since you're a Marine, eh?
Michael Spegal is your champion.
You told us that you're a thrill seeker. Where does this rank in terms of thrill seeking?
This is definitely the top. I mean, I'm speechless. I just can't believe this is happening.
Was this an anniversary gift to your wife, or was this her anniversary gift to you?
She can have the money, I'll take the bracelet.
Welcome a new member to the World Series Bracelet Fraternity.